Hey everybody, welcome back to
Is
Veteran.
it live?
No.
So you're not recording right now?
Yeah, I'm recording.
Oh, I didn't know that.
No, I'm letting it get the noise around
Okay.
the room so that the mic can kind of
Okay.
get our voices in there. But hey everybody, welcome back to Veteranbassin. I promised y'all that Military Monday will be back, and here we are for Military Monday. Today we have not only a brother in uniform, but a brother in the R. So, as y'all know, if you paid attention to the news, you know, we've lost a valued member of Rough Riders, DMX, God rest his soul, you know what I'm saying, ride in heaven. But we have our chapter president here who also served in the Air Force. Now, I don't know the Air Force ranks like that, so he's going to tell you all of that, but I'm going to let him introduce yourself, and we'll get to, you know what I'm saying, telling his story about his time in the military. So I'm going to pass it over to him, and let's get started.
Yeah, man. What's up, by the way? My man, Joe Vid over there kicking it. Yeah, this is Flyby, president of the Macon, Georgia Rough Riders. Yeah, I did, 21 years in the Air Force, retired, and I'm in the communications field. In the Air Force, I was in combat communications, about 6 tours to Iraq, once to Afghanistan. Pretty much my military career, I've been all over the United States, all over the world, you know, via the military. That's it. I mean, you know, with military, right. You know.
So we'll start it from the beginning of what made you decide to join the armed forces?
Mama King did. Yeah, that's my mother. I wasn't the how do I put this? You know, I was living. That was a product of my environment growing up. You know, so you know, Mama King didn't like that, and so she pretty much gave me an ultimatum: either join the military or get out. So I wanted to go to the Marines, but Mama King wouldn't let me. She was like, "No, you're too crazy as it is. You know what I'm saying? You'll kill yourself within 2 years." So she made me go to the Air Force. It wasn't my decision to go to the Air Force. It was my mom's decision to go to the Air Force. So went to the Air Force recruiter. Bam, there it was. 21 years later, I retired.
Oh, okay. Oh, if you don't know, his first name actually is Dennis King.
Dennis King.
But to us in Rough Riders, it is Flyby.
Yes, sir.
And hopefully he tell you the story behind that name.
I can tell you that. I can tell you that.
Okay, before we continue on, I'll let you tell him the story behind the name Flyby.
The name Flyby was given to me before I even became a member of Rough Riders. I was a prospect, and we were in Atlanta doing a hood ride in Atlanta. We were at Atlanta's anniversary, as a matter of fact, their weekend anniversary, and we were on the hood ride, and it's probably over 100 bikers. So anyway, where everybody's, you know, riding, there's 2 lanes of bikers in 1 lane though. So I'm in the very back, far back. I'm probably one of the last people in the ride because I'm a prospect. So after a short while, a few of the members or the riders started jumping out and just punching it. You know, they would just jump out, one after the next, jump out, punch it, and just ride past the whole line, just getting it. And that's what I like to do, you know. So I just said, you know, bump this, I'm out. So I dipped out as a prospect, which I knew I shouldn't have done that, but I just couldn't help it. I wanted to get it just like the other guys getting it. So I jumped out, I got it. So I'm catching up to the main crew of riders, but I'm going around this curve. And in the middle of the curve, the sunlight just hit me right in my face. And I really couldn't see for a few seconds. So I was trying to turn my head and whatnot. At the same time, I'm doing about 80, 90 miles an hour. So I'm coming around the curve, and when I come around the curve, all the bikers were stopped. There's a traffic light right there after the curve. All the bikers were in one lane. It was 2 rows of bikers in one lane, and they were all stopped because of the traffic light. It was a red light. Had I stopped, I would have wiped out the first 20, 30 bikers. So I knew that wasn't an option. So I just kept going. And I went straight through the middle of the 2 sets of bikers, 2 rows of bikers, at about 90 miles an hour. Scared the mess out of every single one of them. And I went through the traffic light, and there was a car coming, missed me by inches, missed my back wheel by inches. And when I got over the traffic light, I just pulled over, looked back, and I was like, yo, what's up, man? The light green, come on. So everybody, we all got back to the host hotel, and I was, everybody parked their bikes, and I was ready to go to my room, but they all called me over there. They all put me in the middle of this big circle and said a prayer for me. And, I got a lot of comments, probably wasn't some nice ones. Comments I probably shouldn't say on here. But, I got some comments about pretty much how crazy I am. And so that's where the name Flyby came from.
Come on, guys. Let's go. But, okay. Lovely story. But if you don't know, this is the guy that actually named me in Rough Riders.
Yes.
My name is Jailbreak. And I got that name because, I work as a corrections officer. And we were sitting back wondering, what should my name be?
Yep.
And we thought of so many names, and he said, wait a minute. You always trying to get off in time to make it to these meetings and everything else.
Yep.
Let's call you Jailbreak because you need to break up out of
Break up out that piece.
So, for those who know or don't know, we'll put it like that. Yes, my ride name is Jailbreak.
Yes.
But we'll get back to the subject at hand. So, where did you do your boot camp at?
Boot camp for me was in San Antonio, Texas. Lasted for, I want to say, maybe 6 months.
6 months?
6 months. I think boot camp was 6 months in San Antonio at Lackland Air Force Base. I got there in, December. I got there in December, and the whole winter there, I think it never got below 75.
Yeah, that's San Antonio.
It was December, and it was like 80, 90 degrees outside every day. Felt like I was right back at home. Well, not at home, but in Atlanta. In Georgia, I should say. But it was hot. So Lackland Air Force Base, San Antonio, Texas.
Well, that was better than Great Lakes.
Oh yeah, a whole lot better.
Cause I was in Great Lakes
December.
In December, I had snow during there up to my chest. Walking around to that. We know you doing well. You already spoke on that. You're doing combat communications. What led you to go that route?
My route was actually communications. So one of my supervisors, an officer, a second lieutenant, back in the day when I was at Shaw Air Force Base in South Carolina, he actually, they was coming out with some new communication jobs and stuff, and he said, pretty much, hey man, you're a smart guy, you need to get on this stuff, man. He's the one who actually got me into it, so I went, did all my schooling, did everything you need to do, and I got all that stuff done, jumped in communications. I did not want to be in combat communications. I never opted for that, for combat communications. But I was stationed at Shaw Air Force Base, South Carolina. I wanted to come to Robbins. The only way to do that was to go to Korea for a year. So I went to Osan Air Force Base after Shaw. And then I came to Robbins Air Force Base. But when I got here, the combat communications, it was so short of people. Nobody wanted to go there. They threw me in it. They didn't ask me, you're at Robbins, you wanted Robbins. You ain't say where you wanted to go specifically. So you at Robbins.
You were voluntold.
You were voluntold to go to combat comm, which ended up being the best thing for me, to tell you the truth.
Well, that's the military. They're gonna volunteer.
Yeah.
Everything all day. So you went from there, came to Roberts Air Force Base, combat communications. So you stayed at Roberts
the rest of my career. Yep.
Okay. So now we will keep this, as y'all know, we like to keep it respectful for veterans because, like I say, there are some things that a lot of vets do not want to talk about. But I will ask him if you deployed.
Yeah, like I said, I went to Iraq 6 times.
6 times.
Yep.
Do you want to speak on any of that?
Man, we had a lot of issues. I would say on our very first trip to Iraq, we flew into, I forgot the name of that base. It's right outside of Iraq, where the president used to go and give his speeches.
That's not like
No.
that ain't Camp Anaconda.
But the president used to go there. It's real popular. I can't remember the name. It'll hit me. But that's the you go there. You fly into there on a one of our 130. Not a 130.
Now that's what y'all trucked all of us
141.
Y'all trucked us in on the C-130s.
No, but see, the thing is, the bigger planes can't go. They can't forward deploy into Iraq. They can only go to that spot where the president can go, and then you get on the 130 from there.
Yeah.
Then you forward deploy into Iraq. So we did that. Got on the 130, C-130. It was only a team of. It was about 11 of us. It was our team. We're only about a team of 11. Of course, when we get there, we're meeting up with other people. But our immediate team, our central team, is about 11 people, which includes my first sergeant, second lieutenant. The second lieutenant was the team commander. Wasn't our squadron commander, but he was that team's commander. So he was the highest ranking, and then a bunch of us. So we get on the plane, we're forward deploying into Nasiriyah. This is where, you remember, if you don't remember, where Jessica Lynch was when she got killed?
Yeah.
We flew right in there. That's where we were going.
Oh, snap.
Yeah, so we flew into there. I think it's Nasiriyah, Iraq. I think it's southern Iraq. We're on the way over there and on the 130. There's only about 1 or 2 windows you can look out of on a 130. Some of them don't have any. But it was 11 of us, 11 on the team, and we had about 6 pallets, which stood about 8 feet to 9 feet tall. They were very wide, big pallets of our equipment and stuff. So next thing you know, we're flying, and we're just moving along, going. We got about 45 minutes left, and then the plane just drops. Plane just drops out of nowhere, just drops, and then it comes back up. So we like, what in the world is going on? What's going on? So everybody's trying to peek out this one little small window they have on the 130. And so I was the first one there at the windows. I was nearest the window. So I was the first one at the window. I peep out the window, and I see these dang on rockets. I'm looking back. I'm looking at RPGs coming up to hit this plane. So the plane 130s come equipped with the flares. The flares, yeah. They come equipped with the flares. So next thing you know, I see the 130 shooting out flares. There's flares coming out everywhere, and it's loud. Very loud. It almost hurts your ear when you're in the plane. Flares are coming out, and then I remember the plane going up, down, left or right. Up, down, left or right. And then of course, if you've ever been on the 130, when that happens, what's getting ready to happen next. You or everybody on there, if you ain't trained and you ain't ready for it, you're going to be throwing up.
Yeah.
You're going to definitely throw up.
Big time.
So, my first sergeant, I have to tell this story too. Kelly Height, I hope you watch this. I'm telling you this all. Bro, you killed me there. You had me laughing that day. My first sergeant name was Kelly Height. Buff dude, you know what I'm saying? Cools, I don't know what, real buff, supposed to be tough, biker type, you know what I mean? Just real tough. So, if you ever been to training, you know that you can go to some training for 130. They tell you in situations like that, the first thing you need to do is focus on something. Focus on something that'll help calm your body down. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Help calm you down.
About like when you're on a ship and you in the rough seas. You know
Yeah. You just need to focus on something. If you keep looking around, you're gonna get sick.
Yeah.
But if you just focus in on one thing, you'll be all right. So there was this hole in the wall, right across the way from me. There's a hole, and all I did was just boop. I focused on that hole. So I could feel myself about to vomit. It was coming up, but I just kept focusing on that hole and it never came all the way up. But then I look over there at Kelly Height, you know, big bald head dude, buff. His jaws are out to here. He came up. He tried not to let it come out of his mouth. His jaws like out here. And he just said, "Bow," just let it out. Soon as he did it, 3 or 4 other people, including the lieutenant, "Bow," everybody just throwing up. Luckily it wasn't near me, but everybody just letting it loose. So when I say that was just the worst smelling trip we ever took,
Oh my God.
and all the trips I took, that was just awful, you know. So luckily to say that, you know, we didn't get hit by RPGs. There was actually 3 RPGs that were shot coming for us, and all I remember saying is, "Please get this plane on the ground." I take my chances on the ground. I do not want to crash land in a 130. You know what I'm saying? With all this weight. No, but luckily we made it to our destination. We made it to Nazaria just fine. You know, of course the crew that crew that for that plane had a bunch of cleanup to do. But you know, that comes with the territory. That's their job. You know, crew chiefs. That's what I couldn't think of. Those crew chiefs had a bunch of cleaning up to do.
Well, with you being combat communications also, and I'm pretty sure because over there they did a lot of the Air Force did a lot of joint operations with other branches.
We did our all of our work. I'm gonna say all of. We did all of our stuff 95% with the Army, the other 5 with Marines.
Marine.
Yeah.
So who did you like working with better, Army or Marine?
I'm gonna say the Marines. The Marines were actually some cool dudes. Them dudes were cool. You know what I'm saying? We had a bunch of missions we had to do. Some of them we had to walk and do them through these towns, and some of them we were in Humvees and armored trucks going through. And most of the time we were with a mixture of the Army and Marines.
Yeah,
it was a mixture of them. But I'm gonna say the Marine dudes. Those dudes are cool. Even the Army dudes were cool too. You know, but I'm gonna say the Marine dudes. I guess I just like them more. You know,
I'm a little bit biased. Well, here's the thing. I'm a little bit biased considering the fact that I was in the Navy, but I was a corpsman, so I dealt mainly with the Marines.
Yeah.
But then when I switched over to the Army, so I'm a little bit conflicted on that.
Yeah. I like them both, to tell you the truth. Both of them were cool. I'll tell you one that was real cool was the Spanish Army, because they were there too. Spanish Army, matter of fact, their bunks and stuff were right across from ours. So now them dudes were cool. Now see, because we're communications, we brought our own equipment, our own fiber, everything. We dug our own lines. We had our own communication. So we had our own little tent structure right there. I could get on my laptop
and do whatever.
Check email, send the spouse an email, check on the kids. I can get on the phone, make a phone call. So the Spanish Army found out they got wind that we can do that. So with those guys, you know how the barter system is very good over there.
Very good.
So with those guys brought all this stuff that you can like barbecue with and cook with. They used to have this big drum, stood about 4 feet high, about that wide. And they used to cook this big thing, nothing but rice in there with all this meat. They used to cook that stuff over it. It was old school because you had a bunch of wood on the ground, and that's where the fire was coming from. And this thing stood on some, on a little frame.
Yeah.
That big thing stood on a little square frame, that big pot, and the wood below it.
Oh, so they were making it up something.
They had that rice to where they put some kind of sauce in there, and they would just have this big thing. And they would just keep stirring it, and they would always come over. If it was 5 people in my tent, they brought 10 plates. And all we would do was just get up from our computers, let them sit down, do whatever they need to do while we eat, and they were good to go.
Sure, right? So if you was to say one good memory, because we know about what happened over there, and some of the things that happened over there, I would say you wouldn't tell that to your
Yeah.
But we're gonna avoid some of that, But one of your best memories about over in theater would be